The following program is sponsored by PokerStars.net. Previously on The Big Game, loose cannon Courtney G played patiently all week waiting for a big hand. She finally got one and got action.
What?
Against Hollywood home game legend Rick Solomon's pocket tens.
No queens.
Yeah, she got me, Crush.
Pro in the making, as long as we don't see a 10.
But Solomon hit his 10 and took down the monster pot.
Okay, come back, Trail.
Can this aspiring poker pro rebuild her stack? Against this lineup of heavy hitters, does she have any chance of making a profit? Find out tonight on The Big Game.
I think it's going to be an exciting show.
This is the PokerStars.net Big Game.
Hello and welcome to The Big Game from Las Vegas, Nevada, alongside Joe Stapleton. I'm Scott Huff. Tonight there's almost $900,000 in cash on the table as some of the top players in the world have come to battle it out here in our state-of-the-art poker room.
In seat 2 is a guy who wrote a scathing blog about the structure of my home game. Kid Poker is up 66-7.
The poker artist formerly known as the Unabomber is here. Phil Locke is up over $105,000.
They say he's a bad boy of poker, but I say he's just misunderstood. Bryn Kenny is up a little over $10,000.
Don't blink or you just might miss him. The fastest internet player in the world is Randy Liu, and he's stuck over $94,000.
Hollywood home game legend Rick Solomon is a wealthy amateur who loves action and sucking out on loose cannons. He's down 20 grand.
Our loose cannon is 24-year-old Courtney G. She was staked 100 grand to play and was hoping to win enough profit to start her life as a professional poker player. But right now, she's down over 67 grand, and she's with Amanda.
Courtney, you suffered a pretty bad beat last show. Do you still feel like you can walk away a winner?
I've played enough poker to know that anything is possible, so definitely I can. I'm going to have to get lucky, though.
Okay, is there a certain number where you're in panic mode and you have to get it in there?
I'm pretty much in panic mode now.
Yeah?
I mean, once I have a stack where I have to double up twice to get...
Back to where you are?
Yeah, that's probably panic. If I can't double up twice and be in profit, that's a big problem. So.
Well, I hope you quadruple up. Good luck.
Thank you.
Here's another look at the loose cannon rules. Each cannon is staked 100 grand to play. They keep all winnings above the initial 100,000. And the loose cannon, who's won the most money at season's end, earns a North American Poker Tour passport worth $50,000.
The leading loose cannon to beat is Gonzalez Cannon. Yes, that's his real name, and no, changing your first name to Loose won't help you get on the show.
If Courtney wants any shot at that NAPT passport, she'll need to double up more than 3 times.
This is where the fun starts.
Rick Solomon's idea of fun is to put out a sleeper straddle.
Well, there's meat out there. That's
It's a
good.
blind bet that becomes live only if no one raises before it gets to you.
Sleeper Straddle's been in play all week, and it's made for some tasty pots.
Good luck. You speak French?
No, but
Bon
bunch
chance.
of... Yeah.
How do you not speak French?
Oh, I mean, I can say hello.
Courtney's from British Columbia. They speak English and Spanish there,
Yes!
Rick straddles live. He's happy.
I'm so excited.
Action on the
You're not
cannon.
attacking my straddle?
No.
She's out. Negrano folds.
That gentleman's gonna attack it.
I don't know. I'm going to attack it with weakness.
Block just calls. Action back on Solomon with King 3.
All right.
Checks it.
I feel lucky.
Rick's run pretty good when he's felt lucky this week.
4, 9, Queen, 2 spades. Both players miss. Phil's ace is best, and he bets it.
Take that money.
And Solomon quickly folds.
Done straddling.
I'm pretty sure Rick Solomon is incapable of not straddling. He never makes it through step 2 at Straddlers Anonymous.
You want to straddle?
Potential enabler.
I want to. Are you gonna double straddle on this one if I do?
Do you want me to?
If you want, it's up to you.
If you straddle, well, I'll do whatever you want.
All right, I do one.
Okay, we're gonna do double.
That was a quick retirement.
You want me to do double, right?
That's up to you, man.
No, I
You
don't
can do
care.
whatever
It
you
doesn't matter to me.
want. I don't care either.
Okay, so I'm just gonna watch this time. I'm gonna be spectator.
8 deuce for Solomon.
Thank God.
Folds. Courtney's out. Ace 3 for Daniel.
Suited.
Raises to 1,600.
1,600.
My first time straddling, though.
I know. But I'm not going crazy on you. I didn't bet like that.
That's very considerate of you.
Daniel min raised.
Lock called. Kenny's folded. It's over to Lou with King 3 suited. Calls.
Daniel actually min-raised to make sure at least one player was priced in.
Let's try this. I feel lucky.
I feel lucky.
9-5 jack, 2 diamonds.
Check.
No, it's on me. It's on me.
Oh, never mind.
Internet players.
Now Phil bets 3,300.
Locke tried this donk bet lead out a few times this week. It hasn't worked yet.
Lou folds over to Daniel.
Daniel clearly not folding with a nut flush draw, but it's possible this donk bet is confusing him.
And Negreanu with the semi-bluff raised to 9,300. And Locke gives it up.
93 for a 3. Out of 3.
Shows the tray
Funky
ball.
one. Lots of fun stuff with it.
And a semi-bluff with the best hand is good enough for this hand. What?
You can have the button here.
Nice hand, sir.
I had the goods. I show a 3 and I say I had the goods.
You had as good as you could.
I did, yeah. Kinda.
While Daniel stacks his goods, let's take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit and becomes no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least 100,000 but can rebuy for up to 500K.
The big rule change this season is that a winning loose cannon cannot come back after their week's 150 hands.
Rick Solomon is under the gun. And shockingly, he has not straddled.
I don't even know you anymore, Rick.
Jack 4. Folds. Courtney G, the loose cannon, ace 6.
She's short stacked. Will she go with it?
Nope. On Daniel Negreanu. Ace 8 of diamonds. Another suited ace for Daniel. Raises to 1,200. King 7 for Phil Locke. Calls. Kenny folds. And Lou folds.
Probably, if I'm going to bet, it's just going to be about 2,000. I'm not sure I am. I'm going to bet here about 61%.
Hold on 1 second. Can you just hold 1 second? Let's just bet call and look at the turn.
Okay, how much? 2,000?
Yeah.
Fine, fair enough.
4
Hey,
cards.
go to the turn. Oh, be good for me.
Blind bet, blind call. 7 deuce tray.
1 more card. He bet 2 and I called.
Yeah.
Phil ahead on the flop.
Turn. Ace of hearts.
Daniel now ahead with top pair.
Phil with a pair and a flush draw.
Guess that A stands for action card.
Negreanu bets 4,400.
What are you grabbing the big orange one for? Looked like he was getting frisky with that one.
Not frisky, just calls. 5 of clubs on the river. Negreanu checks.
Every draw in the world came in. It'll be tough for either to have a read on this hand since they played this with 1 less street than normal.
Lock checks.
I have an ace.
That's good.
Phew. Oh, please don't bet. Please don't bet. Did you guys hear that in my head? Because I was thinking it so loud that I thought you could maybe hear it. Huh?
I can't. I don't have an ace. I guess you win, right?
I guess I win.
Just want
That
to
was
check.
fun.
again.
Phew.
That no bet turn you, huh?
Somebody texted Rick that joke.
Negreanu takes down that $16,000 pot, and Locke seems dazed by his plan to call the flop blind.
That was a funny hand.
But he's still our big winner so far.
That was cool, I thought.
Locke's won 67% of his showdowns and over 1/6 of the total pots.
I don't know.
Yet that loss seems to have him unibummed.
Action will start on G.
Come on, Courtney, you can do it!
Cannon, King Jack.
King Jack is the bottom of the cannon's range. It's the worst hand we've seen her play all week. I sincerely hope she pumps it up here. She's running out of time.
16.
She does. Raises to 1,600. Ace 6 for
Okay, I'll
Daniel.
Stay out of your way.
Folds. Locke folds. Kenny's out. Lou, 10-7. He lets it go. Back on Rick Solomon. Pocket jacks.
Could be trouble for Courtney.
Re-raises to 5,400.
Even though Courtney's short on chips, this isn't a slam dunk 4-bet or even a call by any means. At this point, everyone's got to know how tight her image is. 2 players just folded an ace, so Rick's probably not just messing around.
I'll call.
She calls.
Calling is easily the worst of the 3 options, however.
So it's the Cannon and Solomon heads up to the flop.
At least she's in position.
10-3 queen, and the Cannon's up and down.
This is an action flop. We're likely to see some money get in here, if not all of it.
Solomon checks.
Courtney could check, but in general, in this spot, she really should bet. Try to win it now or build a pot if she hits her hand. The only problem is I'm not sure any size bet will get Rick off 2 jacks with only 1 over and lots of backdoor draws.
8,000.
She bets 8,000.
Courtney's made a nice size bet.
Solomon calls.
Everyone in America now rooting for you. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal against Rick, but last night he did suck out against the loose cannon to decimate her stack. Right now she's got over a third of her chips invested in this hand, and she is behind.
To the turn, 7 of spades. Solomon checks.
I'm all in.
The cannon's all in.
All of it.
Shoving was the right move, I think, but she just looked so unhappy when she did it.
Oh, I got 2 jacks. How much is it? Sorry.
Not much more. Very slim chance Rick folds. He's getting better than 2 to 1. If Rick calls, this could be the end of the loose cannon.
I call.
And he does.
She's called. She's got a draw.
Wow, Solomon.
Good call. She has outs. She needs an ace, king, or a 9.
Once, twice, 3 times?
Once.
She wants 1 time. We got a gambolero in the house.
I'm using my 1 time. Should have used it during the queens, apparently, but
Okay.
They're going to run it once. Courtney has a little better than a 1 in 5 chance of binking the winner. Not terrible. If she doesn't, she is out of here.
Good luck.
thank you.
A double up here will put Courtney in position to double up again for profit.
It's a good move anyway. He thought about it. He did. He thought. I mean, it's like either dead or she's got outs.
You can see the outs at the top of the screen. Unless Courtney hits one of those cards, she'll be hitting the rail.
To the river.
Here it comes.
It's a queen.
Thanks.
Sorry. You played really good though.
That's going to do it for Courtney G. Her dreams of winning here to jumpstart a career as a poker pro have been dashed.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Oh, nice playing too.
Okay.
Handshakes all around as the loose cannon heads off, but now we've got a seat open. Who will take it? Find out when we return from Vegas, right here on The Big Game. Welcome back to The Big Game, where Phil Locke is up 94 Gs and Daniel Negreanu is up over 82K. Rick Solomon is now showing a profit, as is Bryn Kenny. The only player losing at the table is Randy Liu. He's stuck 96 grand. Loose cannon Courtney G is busted out of the game, and right now, she's with Amanda.
Courtney, you made it 92 hands with some of the best players in the world. Rick Solomon was kind of your nemesis out there. Any hard feelings?
No, definitely not. I had a really good time. They're all awesome guys, so I'm no hard feelings at all. I don't have any regrets. I'm happy with how I played.
What are you gonna do from here? Are you still gonna be playing poker?
Oh, for sure. I'll just have to make it another way.
Right?
Yeah, make my fortune doing something else.
All right, well, thank you so much for being our loose cannon.
Thanks.
Well, Joe, looks like we've got a new player settling into seat 1.
Good eye, Huff. It's Brian Rast, direct from a cash game session with Manny Pacquiao that's had him up for the last 31 hours. The movie Rounders got him started on his path as a poker pro. Rast is close friends with Phil Locke and Antonio Esfandiari. He's the lesser known of those 3 musketeers. I think of him as Porthos.
Joe, what can we expect to see now that Rast, a bona fide pro, has replaced the cannon?
Brian's a high-level thinker who doesn't shy away from action. If anything, he should fit right in with this group of straddlers. His tourney results may just be 757K, but he's won more than that in a day playing super high-stakes cash games in Macau.
Action will start on Bryn Kenny with ace-10. Raises to 1,400. Lou's out. Solomon's out. Ace-king for Brian Rast. Welcome to the table.
Not an automatic 3-bet, but one would be fine.
Waste no time, huh?
Rast re-raises.
Waste not, want not. That's what my mom always said.
What'd I tell you about this guy?
Gotta listen to mama.
Action folds back over to Kenny.
Hard to have a read on the guy who just showed up.
Double checks his cards.
Easy raises.
And folds. And Rast's going to take down the first pot he plays.
You played with him before? Oh, you have? Because otherwise, I was going to say, if you've never played with him before, then you probably should have called.
Nah, but Bryn Kenny wisely respects the 3-bet from Rast and gets out of the way. And in general, he's pretty quick to fold to anyone's 3-bet. He's ditching it 86% of the time. Nanonoko Randy Liu has never called a 3-bet. And this should be no surprise. Calling station Daniel Negreanu has yet to fold to a 3-bet, and no one has even attempted to 3-bet the straddle captain, Rick Solomon.
Can we now please change the lights to purple?
Why? So it can match yours and Bryn's shirts?
Well, it was definitely a
Ace King for Daniel Negreanu. Raises to 1,200. Action folds to Randy Liu. Queen 5 of hearts. Calls. Solomon's out. Rast with pocket 3s. Makes the call.
Let's see a flop.
3-way action to the flop.
Pick me.
7, Queen 9, 2 clubs. The lose flop top pair.
And the poker gods have selected Randy.
Rast checks. Daniel checks.
Randy tends to bet whether he has it or not. He can safely bet this for value.
27.
Randy bets 2,700. Rast folds.
You got it.
Daniel gives up.
Thank you.
So Randy Liu quickly scoops up those chips, but I imagine this game must seem slow to the fastest player in the world.
I'm Randy Liu. I'm the fastest player in the world, and I'm on the big game. The reason I'm the fastest player in the world online is because I play so many hands a year. I play 24 6-max games at one time. The live players are gonna be playing like, what, 30 hands an hour? You know, I'm playing like 100 hands per hour per table.
It really takes like, you know, a very unique person to be able to do what he does.
The speed in which he plays is just astronomical.
I use two 30-inch monitors and I towel all my tables. I'm pretty much like swiveling my head really quickly and fast, so you just gotta click really fast in order to make it happen.
He's just amazing at how quick that he can process information.
He doesn't sacrifice any of the skill he has by doing so, and that's a really impressive feat.
He's definitely been one of the most consistent No Limit Hold'em winners in the last 5 years.
He's really moved up through the ranks in poker very quickly with a very dedicated work ethic.
This is my first appearance on a big game, but I'm not nervous at all since I'm going to play one table instead of 24 tables. I'm going to try and speed up things at the big game and just play every hand as fast as I can.
Randy Liu plays so fast that if you only listen to him play, it just sounds like one long click.
That is fast, Joe. Cards are out, and Locke is under the gun with Queen 7 of diamonds. Calls.
I remember that time we were all playing Omaha at Commerce, and Phil hadn't slept like all night. You and him were playing these like crazy, insane 200K pots with like one pair versus like middle pair and a gut shot.
That's how he felted me for 120 or whatever.
It's true.
Brian Rast is a certified Omaholic.
Actions folded around to Daniel. Ace 8.
It's just me and you, buddy. You check.
He checks.
I checked. Oh, I limped. That's right. Yeah, I remember my hand.
King, Jack 10, 2 diamonds. Daniel's got a gut shot.
I'm going to check.
Huge flop for Phil, up and down and with a flush draw.
Daniel's checked it, and Phil bets 1,500.
Locke's behind for now, but he's got every draw imaginable. Even his 7 is live. And now it's time for the 2 most commonly used words on this show.
Daniel calls. Ace of diamonds on the turn. Shades of Woody Allen here, Joe. Daniel pairs his bullet. Phil makes Broadway. Daniel checks.
Locke's made the nuts with a redraw to the royal nuts.
Locke bets 4,400.
Daniel seems a bit surprised Phil's betting. Right now, Daniel's trying to figure out how often Phil would turn a hand worse than his into a bluff. If not, then Daniel certainly can't beat a value bet. Sometimes you just have to fold top pair.
You must have like 2 4s or something. Ah, he wins.
Daniel lets it go.
2 4s?
You don't know what? I don't know.
I had a big hand, kid. I only bet when I have big hands.
No, but that time you might have had 4s. Pocket 4s?
I can't tell you.
Well, I'm going to see it eventually. Oh, you just want to tell me right now?
I don't want to tell you.
Ever?
Even when Daniel sees this on TV, Phil will still probably lie about his hand. He'll say he did have 2 4s.
We're coming right back with more big-time action. Don't go away. Welcome back to Las Vegas in the big game, where poker pro Brian Rast has recently joined the table, and he's involved in a love triangle of sorts.
I'm Brian Rast. This is my first time on TV here on The Big Game.
Brian Rast and I are very good friends.
There's very few guys on the planet that I could say I trust 100%, and he's one of them.
Brian Rast is the best. Saw Rast, the guy's a genius. He's opinionated, he knows what he's talking about. He is a guy that many people go to for bet resolutions. I just like him.
I'm really close with Phil and Antonio. I met them like maybe 3 years ago, kind of in the poker world, and we started hanging out a lot. You know, I've gone out a whole bunch in the past with Antonio in the town in Las Vegas. You know, I met my fiance on a trip with Phil to Brazil. They're just really cool guys who I think are really intelligent and fun to hang out with.
This sounds really awkward, but Brian Rast, you know, we ask him all the time, who is he closer with, Phil Laak or Antonio Sfandiari, and he tied us, and Phil and I just couldn't accept that, you know, and so we were like, we want the truth, and Brian came out and said that he was a little bit closer to Phil, and then about 4 or 5 months later, after hanging out with him every single day, I passed Phil.
Antonio probably went out 4 times a week. It might have been more. I like going out, but I don't know, maybe once every 5 or so weeks. I'm not like a go out a lot guy.
Now, I don't know where the list stands, but I think it's pretty close. Yeah, I know that sounds really bad, but we love Brian Rast, and I'm not afraid to say, I love you, Brian Rast.
Wow, do you think they like each other or what? We couldn't get shots of their puzzle piece necklaces?
No, never. I'm not gonna let him watch his TiVo.
Either that or they owe him a lot of money.
And 101 starts off on the bearded Bryn Kenny. King 7. Folds. Lose out. Solomon folds to Rast. Suited connectors. Raises to 1,200. 9 deuce for Negreanu. Folds.
Over to Rast's BFF.
With 7 deuce.
Pot. P-O-T.
Laak making a move.
44 total.
You know, he's 3-betting. We taught him a new word.
We should never have said it near Phil. Now he's anxious to try out his new toy.
Are they talking about 3-betting or his speak and spell? C-A-L-L.
And Rast calls.
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
No 7 deuce rule on this show. This is the one with the loose cannon.
Jack 5-9, 2 hearts. Rast pairs is 5. Laak bets out 6,400 with 7 high.
I guess you only hurt the ones you love. I think Phil Laak's going to be moving down on Brian Rast's speed dial.
He calls.
Rasty. Crafty Rasty's in there.
To the turn, 10 of clubs. Phil picks up a gut shot.
Phil knew going into this he'd likely have to bluff this hand.
22,400.
And he bets 22,400, and Rast quickly folds.
I
like
showed
a
him.
bull you are, Phil Laak. Just push.
I thought I had the best hand.
Not true.
You probably did.
And not true.
Not a good turn card for me. Pretty hard for me to continue. I can beat ace-queen. Ace-king.
I would say I had ace-queen crushed or I was bluffing, but I don't want to have, I don't know how to weight my range right now, so since I don't know.
Joe, it seems like Crafty Rasty's a little familiar with Phil's post-hand shenanigans. We all know Phil just fired over 22 grand into that pot with air.
Someone was saying this is like a
Rick Solomon will be under the gun here and seems to have given up straddling for good.
He's got a profit now. He might be trying to hold on to his chips this time, though he's not really known for holding on to things. His marriage to Pamela Anderson lasted 10 weeks.
King Queen for Solomon. He raises to 1,300. Rast is out. Action on Daniel Negreanu.
Straddle?
Bet.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Different. It's a bet. He bet 13, not straddle. I'm going to call it.
I bet the maximum.
Daniel's called and Phil Laak has repotted it to 6,400.
Now in this spot, Phil Laak is 3-betting for straight-up value, knowing his good buddy Rick is likely to... What is going on here?
Bryn Kenny with 9-8 offsuit. 4 bets to 16-5.
Wow.
Lose out. 16-5. Back on Rick Solomon. Lets it go.
Okay, bully.
Daniel's out.
Bryn might feel like that was such an obvious spot for Phil to 3-bet that he can get away with making this 4-bet, and it looks mighty strong.
Wow, it's really annoying getting like 12 betted or whatever that is.
12 betted.
Laak folds.
That hurt. That just hurt.
Bryn Kenny does rank first at the table in 12 and 13 betting.
Nice move there by the young pro.
How do you guys feel about a round of straddles?
All right, if everyone's in.
Let's do that. We're straddling for the rest of the show. Dun, dun, dun.
And just when Rick had kicked the habit, and now the lights go red to symbolize Rick's straddle demons and how they always have him surrounded.
In case you missed it, straddles are on until further notice, and the action this time will start on the action man himself, Rick Solomon.
Always having a good time.
King 4 for Rick. Folds. Rast is quickly out. Jack 10 of diamonds for Daniel.
Yeah, I like whatever. My turn. I am officially in.
Raises to 1,600. 6 deuce for Locke.
Daniel's min raised. You don't mind a multi-way pot with this hand. Locke's diamonds are dominated.
And he calls. 8-5 suited for Bryn Kenny. He calls.
Everyone getting real loose.
Ace 3 suited for Lou. He calls.
Nice. Action.
4-way action of the flop.
That's what the straddle will do for you. We got $7,000 before we've even seen a flop as well.
You're sitting next to the wrong guy.
Ace, 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 and Randy Lou's made quads.
First quads of season 2.
Locke checks, Kenny checks, Lou checks.
Not a lot for him to protect against.
And Daniel checks. Deuce of hearts on the turn. Locke has a full boat. Checks. Kenny checks, and Lou checks.
Daniel trying to figure out if there's any way he can steal this pot.
He just checks. 7 of clubs. Locke bets out 4,000 with his boat.
Bye-bye, 4,000. Have fun at Randy's house.
Kenny folds, and the action's on Randy Lou.
I'm thinking raise.
Good guess, Joe. Randy bets 9,500.
Ooh. That's a little more than 4.
Daniel folds.
This might normally be an easy fold, but Randy Lou is always betting.
Locke calls.
Ace.
Feels like they were waiting for me to bet, huh?
Oh, that's good.
That was good. Radar. That would have been a good
Lou wins a pot worth 26,000.
It was the first time I called a bet he made, and he had quads.
Randy Lou, the fastest man on the net, slow plays his 4 aces and gets paid off. We got plenty more big game action when we come back.
I like playing with poker as if it's a malleable jumble of probability waves that represent the math of the game, the emotion of the game, the decaying history of the game, all that stuff, trying to blend it into like fun kung fu at the table, you know? And it's fun doing it. And it's a great feeling when it works, and it's okay when it doesn't work too. That's why it's so much fun. It's like when you're playing Frisbee and you miss a catch. Do you think, oh, that's going to diminish the day of fun I'm having at the beach? No, that doesn't. You didn't even notice that you missed the Frisbee. That's part of playing Frisbee. So that's what I look at poker like, you know, just try and get in there, you know.
To see more behind-the-scenes interviews, all this game's stats, unaired hands, and material deemed too hot for TV, visit us online. Rast is straddling. Action on Daniel, 2 10s. Raises to 2,500.
Action now on the malleable motion wave kung fu Frisbee player.
With ace queen. Just calls.
Locke's not a huge 3-better. He tends to plah, plah, plah.
Action folds around to Solomon. 6-3 suited. Calls.
Action Rick is in.
Over to Brian Rast. Jack 4. Still Jack 4. And lets it go.
So we've got sick, sicker, and sickest.
3-way action of the flop. King Deuce 10 rainbow set for Daniel. Sickest checks.
Daniel knows with 2 callers pre-flop, a C-bet is likely to get some action on a 2 Broadway card flop.
And Negreanu bets 5,500. And Locke calls with his gut shot. Solomon quickly out.
Phil's drawing to the nuts, and he knows Daniel doesn't have to have a hand, and sometimes ace-queen will be good.
King of diamonds on the turn.
Daniel's hand improves to a full house, and this looks like a good card to bluff at.
Daniel loading up. Fires 18.
Really, Daniel, son? 18, Daniel, son?
Too late to change my mind now.
It's true, you're kind of committed to that.
I'd show you a card, but they're both the same.
I'm afraid you have 2 10s. How can I call? I can't call. I fold.
I have 2 10s. I have 2 10s. What do you mean I'm afraid? How did you know that? You don't have a king, obviously.
No, I didn't have a king.
I did have 2 10s. Well done. Where does that rank? Like, as far as my face, do you believe that I was telling the truth or lies? Because we're mixing that up now.
I thought you had 3 10s.
Yeah.
So Locke makes a good read there. Joe, what have we learned so far about these guys tonight?
We've learned they're both playing similarly, and it's working for them. Locke is more active pre-flop with a VPIP of 43%, but when it comes to winning pre-flop, they're both equally successful. Post-flop, their aggression factor is very close, and when it comes to the number that matters the most, they're number 1 and number 2 when it comes to profit.
I'm voluming down right now as punishment for not, winning the last hand.
That means he's trying to keep only big denomination chips.
Kenny folds. Over to Randy Lou, the fastest man on the net. Queen 10.
25.
Raises to 2,500. Solomon's out, and Rast
I
folds.
had the best hand. That's boring. That's like, woo, I had the best hand, so what?
Daniel
Cares about
folds.
that?
Suited connectors for Phil Locke.
Tell Amanda a secret.
I didn't have 2 10s.
So how much you want to bet that before the show's over,
Yeah.
one of these guys is going to go broke?
For this show?
No, I mean before we're done this week. That
This
now
week?
that because we're straddling every hand now,
Uh-huh.
that makes the stakes way big.
Essentially, the blinds are 2, 4, and 8.
In the meantime, Locke's made the call. Ace 6-5. Locke flops 2 pair. Checks it.
35.
Make it 14,400 net.
14-4.
I fold.
Don't shoot.
I think it was the net that did it. Otherwise, Randy calls for sure.
Who do you think is going to go broke if you had to
Britt,
choose?
I think that Randy's going to get it in for sure.
Really?
Yeah, and
I
Brian
don't
Rast
see
is
that.
Brian Rast is super aggressive.
For sure him.
Oh, he's a super aggressive player, and he'll be in a lot of pots. And Rick
Rick.
Solomon, everyone. I mean, we're all crazy people here. It's gonna be fun.
6-way all in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sold.
Wow, that was great. One little like 10% back from Randy, which is, I never expected to get even 2% back.
Jack 8 for Solomon, lets it go. Brian Rast, pocket 9s.
Hello, Rasty.
Pumps it up to 2,300. Over to Daniel. King 10.
Daniel on the button.
Daniel Negreanu jacks it up.
3 bets to 6,500. Ace King for Phil Locke.
This is a slam dunk 4-bet with Ace King suited out of position.
As we know, you can't spell Locke without AK.
I'm going to raise the maximum if you can help me with them.
4-bet.
23-6. Barely can afford that.
Something tells me you're going to be fine.
Kenny and Lou fold. And it's back over to Brian Rast.
This could be an easy fold for Rast. He's not closing the action, and Daniel doesn't often 3-bet super wide. Locke's 4-bet range is even smaller.
I wish you would have gone crazy with him. I want to see what he had.
I was gonna 4-bet you.
You were?
And not fold. But I folded to that.
Because he's so nitty.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No reason to use such hateful words. There could be nits watching at home.
Phil Locke getting the hang of his new toy, the 4-bet. Batteries not included. We'll include lots more action when we get back. Welcome back to Las Vegas alongside Joe Stapleton. I'm Scott Huff, and this is the big game. Cards are in the air, the straddle is on all night, and Brian Rast is under the gun with Ace 10.
You hurt me, Phil.
Raises to 2,300. Daniel and Phil are out. Kenny's out. Action on Randy Lou.
Call.
Calls with Queen Jack. Jack 9 for Solomon. And he folds.
Pretty surprised to see Rick not defending his straddle with a hand like that.
Heads up to the flop. 8, 10, 7 rainbow. Solomon would have flopped a straight.
I've made a huge mistake.
Check.
Nano checks over to Rast, who has top pair, and bets 3,800.
Already betting for value. Randy's got 2 overs and a gut shot to the nuts.
Makes a quick call. We're going to see a turn. 7 of spades.
Lou does not improve.
And checks. Rast bets 8,600.
Still betting for value.
And Lou will not be taking a value town. He lays it down.
At that point, Lou is no longer drawing to a hand even close to the nuts. Shake it off, Ricky. Don't rub it.
Solomon not happy he folded the straight, and Rast is going to drag a pot worth 22,500.
Isn't my straddle? My straddle. I'm never trying to duck it.
800 straddle.
No, we won't let it happen. It's officially on. There's no.
Yeah, if you forget, if
it's
somebody
going in.
forgets to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. There are 3 blinds. Yeah. There are officially 3 blinds and a button ante.
So with the button ante, 4 out of 6 players are putting money into the pot pre-flop. That's pretty sick.
Locke's called, and Kenny raises with King 4 suited. Lou folds. Jack 9 for Solomon. He's out. Action folds back around to Locke, who calls. 2 players to the flop. Deuce 9-8, 2 hearts, total brickage for Locke and Kenny.
14,000.
But Locke bets 14K.
Locke's fired a donk bet again to try to steal it, this time with the best hand.
And Kenny looks perplexed.
He should be. Locke's playing out of flow, and he just overbet the pot on the flop.
Like that flop, huh? Okay.
Folds.
Yeah, see, I have an interesting stat question for Stapes.
What?
His button VPIP has to be really, really high, and I'm thinking your button VPIP has got to be like double what your regular is, I think. Can we check that stat? Stapes?
Oh, sure. I've got nothing else going on. Bryn Kenny's button VPIP is at 55%, but Daniel, yours is even higher at 58%. Rast joined the game late, but has entered on the button 3 out of the 4 times he's had the opportunity. In general, these numbers are higher for all the players when compared to their all-around VPIP. Negreanu's number drops almost in half from 58 to 30%, while we see a 17% drop in Kenny's numbers. My favorite numbers are from Locke and Lou, whose stats hardly drop at all because they're both playing so many pots, regardless of position. There, Daniel, you happy?
Action on Phil Locke. Jack 8, limps.
Nice to dream, right? You can let a kid dream.
Ace 4 for Kenny. He folds. Randy Lou, King 6. Raises to 4,000. Solomon and Rast quickly out over to Daniel.
Lou always in there.
They're like goddamn cockroaches. They will not stop. If I limp, they just make it forth. You just can't stop, kids, can you? Because you just know, in the long run, you just win money by doing this. It's amazing. It's so hard to...
I'm going to join you.
Yes!
Daniel calls with King Queen.
Thank you. I was going to have to take them on single-handedly, but it's so nice to have...
You're going to experience Phil's counter strategy. Call, bet twice the pot on any flop.
Locke's called to the flop, 3-9 ace. Everyone misses.
I checked.
It checks around.
Daniel's actually got the best hand with King Queen high, but Randy had the pre-flop betting lead.
And he keeps it, bets 5,500. Action back on Daniel with the best hand. Folds.
I only played this hand because it has a special meaning to me. This is called the Unabomber Ultra Deluxe. Not Deluxe, but Ultra. It's in hearts.
So what's
in
Deluxe?
Hearts.
Jack 7?
Deluxe is anything suited. Jack 8, anything suited. And then it's not even anything.
Ultra
if
is
it's
hearts.
Ultra, so it's just...
So the Ultra Deluxe didn't work out for Locke this time, but King 6 was good enough for Lou to recoup some of his losses. Still a long way back to even. Will he get there? Find out when we get back. Welcome back to the big game from Las Vegas, where earlier tonight, Brian Rast laid down a pair to a big bluff by his close friend Phil Locke. What was Phil thinking? Let's take a look and see as we take you behind the poker face.
2-hand 101 was funky. Brian Rast joined the game, and we've been playing together for about 5 years. Brian raised to 1,200. I know I have a tight image, and I just wanted to play with that a little bit, and so I did something that's super atypical for me. Pot, P-O-T, which was raised out of position with a junk hand. Except it was deuce 7, and whenever I'm playing with Rast, we're almost always playing the deuce 7 game. And part of my intention in that hand was to show it and say, aren't we playing the deuce 7? But as the hand developed, I realized, well, I'm not going to say that because I thought that would be a little, like, torturous or whatever. So I popped it to 4,400. He called, and I was like, oh, I was just trying to win it there. And I don't even know what I'm thinking because it's so bad to play. How am I going to win it there? He's always calling. Hello, it's pot limit hold'em before the flop he has position. And then the flop came Jack 9-5, and I was like, oh, I'm going to rep something here. So I just took a line of twisted aggression, and sometimes that works in poker, and sometimes it doesn't. So I bet 6,400 into 9,600, and he called. And I should be shutting down right there. Then when the 10 came, I was like, wow, I have to just believe I have King Queen. That's the only way out. And I bet 22,000 or something, 22,400. I really didn't have a plan for if he called. I mean, if he raises at any point, I'm done, but he folded. It was really harsh that I shouldn't have been in that spot. That's bad poker, I think. I got lucky with some bad poker.
Like a bull you are, Phil Locke. No fear. Just push, push.
I thought I had the best hand. I kind of just thought it was like a little like go in and get a sheep and get out kind of thing, but it was a bad play. The fox could have been caught there easily.
Brian Rast folded a flop pair of 5s and a 6-high flush draw to Phil's 7-deuce antics, which will now officially be known as the go in, get a sheep, and get out play.
Action on Rick Solomon. Jack 3 lets it go. Rast folds. Over to Daniel on the button. 2 jacks in the hole. Raises to 1,600. King 7 for Phil. He dumps it. Kenny's out. Lou's tired with Doyle.
What is that, 16?
16.
I call.
Was that Jan real?
He calls.
Daniel's priced him into making a call this loose.
To the flop. 7-6-9 rainbow. Lou flops a gut shot.
Now Noko gearing up for a donk bet.
He bets it 1,900.
Lou's semi-bluffing, and Daniel, who hates folding in general, certainly shan't be folding now.
And he calls.
Daniel likes his hand, wants to make sure he doesn't chase off Nano Noko.
Fun board.
Turn. Deuce of spades.
Nano makes a pair. We'll see if he slows down.
Check.
He does.
Daniel looks like he should be able to bet this comfortably for value.
Makes it 5,600.
All right, that's
You don't check raise the turn that much. I knew that from your numbers, so I figured it's safer to bet.
That's true. That is true.
I want to say Daniel's read Nano Noko like a book all week, but what am I saying? No one reads books anymore. He read them like a Kindle.
And Randy likes betting, you know, like 20% of the pot, 25% of the pot.
Straddle is on as usual, so Rick will be last to act. Action will start on Brian Rast. Queen 9. Folds. Queen 4 spades for Negreanu. He raises it to 2,500.
Attacking Rick straddle.
Lock calls with Jack 10. Kenny folds. Ace 4 for Lou. Pitches it. King 10 for Rick Solomon.
That's a strong hand and the best one, but Rick's out of position.
Welcome to the hand, Solomon. It's been a while since I've played with Solomon.
Rick defends his straddle, and we have 3-way action to the flop. 6 deuce 7 rainbow.
Everybody whiffs.
I'm gonna check.
And it checks around a lock.
I'm gonna try the Randy style.
Lock bets 4,200.
Smaller.
In position for once.
Solomon folds.
It's gonna work.
And Negreanu's out.
Oh yeah.
But I think that was about half the pot. Randy style's like 30%.
So Lock wins a pot worth almost 13K, and I'd rather be playing Lock style. It's the profitable one. Phil Lock up over $112,000. Daniel Negreanu up 72K, and Bryn Kenny's up about 11 grand.
Hollywood playa Rick Solomon is down 1 small blind. Rast arrived last and lost fast. He's down 10 G's, and my apologies for that rhyme.
Lou is still stuck. He's down 85K, and our cannon was sent packing.
Rick, do you feel bad at all about busting Lou's cannon?
I do feel bad.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel bad for her?
Yeah, she played really good and she got unlucky. He felt bad because he beat her with 10s against queens.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That I didn't feel bad about, the other hand.
All right, guys, with nearly $1 million on the table, Friday promises to be a crazy night here at the Big Game. Tune in tomorrow night to see how it turns out. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now, and remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the Big Game. Good night, everybody.
For Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow night on The Big Game, Bryn Kenny runs his mouth.
You don't think Justin's very good?
I think he thinks he's the best.
So you think you could crush Bonomo?
I think I could crush whoever. So.
But especially him, like.
Maybe Rick right now.
And things get serious.
All right, I'm gonna go all in.
Are you serious or not?
Will it end in tears?
He goes, are you serious? I never heard that before.
Find out next time on The Big Game.
I love this. This is fun.
The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.net.